You
You're
got it, Spin?
rolling. Yep.
All right. Well, Cholo Trucker in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix presents Monster Trucker Ed. Woo!
Are we actually in Phoenix or is this like
This is a yacht.
okay, okay.
We're in Arrowhead. I like to call it Southside Arrowhead because there's a freeway, the 101. It's
Mm,
our 101, not California 101,
right.
and it loops around the whole valley from all around Phoenix to Scottsdale to Maryvale and Arrowhead. So technically, we are in a city called Glendale, which is
Gotcha.
the same as the Cardinal Stadium that you went to.
Yes.
That's in
Yes.
the Glendale. So we are in Glendale, but Glendale, California is a lot more popular than Glendale, Arizona. So I'm from
Mm,
Phoenix. So when I represent Phoenix, it doesn't matter if I'm in Scottsdale or in Buckeye or Tolleson. I'm always going to say Phoenix
there you go.
because Phoenix is kind of like the big picture here. It's kind of
I got
like
you.
I've never heard you ever claim Rancho Cucamonga, but I've never been around Rancho Cucamonga until I went to go hang out with you. You didn't tell me you lived on the border of Rancho. I didn't know
I
that.
I technically live in Ontario,
Mm-hmm.
downtown Ontario. But I get what you're saying.
Is that a
I,
clown? Is that people clown about that? Like, oh yeah, where you live in Rancho? Is that like a joke out there?
I know everybody calls it Rancho. I rarely hear people say the whole name of Rancho Cucamonga.
Mm.
But yeah, it's kind of a funny name.
Just
I
because
did live there once upon a time, though.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, once upon a time. I lived all over the place. I lived all over the place, and that was one of the places I did live.
Yeah, I think you said something like, "Go to Rancho Cucamonga, follow all the American flags to the and go left, and you're in Ontario." Like, oh wow, they're really patriotic at Rancho Cucamonga, man.
Yeah,
I
well,
got real patriotic when I was there. Like, dang, they love the country here, boy.
there, yeah, the culture kind of changes once you get into Ontario, but nonetheless, man, both places I like both places. So
That's tight, man. So you're out here on business, and man, you've been such an encouragement, man, on the internet. You don't got the millions of subscribers that like some people got, but when you speak and the topics you talk about are just so relevant, man. It's so like down to earth and like things that people are thinking. You know what I mean? And I think that the influence that you've been making, I think you're on the right track, and I like it the way you're able to just kind of focus on one thing and then change gears to do something else. Like I don't know how you do that, man. I'm still thinking about the last thing I was doing. You got like two or three other channels popping off. I'm like, what? I'm still thinking about I'm still meditating on what I just talked about. You're already on some boxing thing or some wrestling thing. Uh, how do you? I mean, and obviously those channels don't have the viewership as your Cholo Truck or your what
right.
I would call your what they call flagship.
It's definitely my main
Your
channel.
flagship.
It will always be my main channel.
Hey
Yes,
man, whenever
yes,
you guys, if you
definitely.
guys ever hear me say it's our flagship ministry channel, then you just need to be like, okay, I gotta go somewhere else, brother. You get crazy. No, but yeah, man. So you got your flagship Cholo Trucker channel, and there's an element of like just real talk. You've covered all types of different topics from
Right.
sexual abuse to policing to like trucking. Uh, but like, but what's something, man? If you could like talk about all the time, what would it be? If you had like a
Ooh, if I were to put it down to once, if I had to put it into a box, which I don't, but if I had to, ooh, wow. I would probably say, as much as I love trucking, it wouldn't be trucking. Even though I do talk about trucking here and there, um, it probably just be a little bit more of just life in general. I know that's kind of a little bit of a cop out answer
mm,
because it's such a broad answer, but it just be about life and living. I think that's probably where I find the most satisfaction talking about it. So again, it's kind of hard to narrow it down, but it would just kind of be about just everyday life and living and yeah, in that sense, and health, through that avenue, I guess is what I'm trying to say here.
It takes a lot to swim across the Bay Area. What's that channel called? I forget. All I know is people, they built that prison there because there's no way any Mexican's gonna swim out of this place. And then Cholo Trucker does it for sport. Let's do it again. Oh,
I'm
crazy,
good.
man.
I'm good. I'm good on doing it again.
Man,
It-
he was somewhere on Angel Island. He's like, dude, there's a rafter here that says Alcatraz on it. I'm like, what? Where? Where? No, man, that's just, dude, I don't even know how to swim all that great. I have a pool, but I'm a horrible swimmer. You doing that? To me, that's nuts. I don't know what I would have been more afraid of, swimming or wearing those tantarellas that they made you wear
so
for keeping everything together. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, and look, thank goodness for that swimsuit. I'm telling you, man, that's the one and only time I've ever worn a swimsuit. But I will tell you, I never trained in the ocean for that. It was all on a pool.
Navy
And,
SEALs,
and
bro.
and it was all in a pool, and then when you jumped in the water, in the ocean water, it's like the movement is just crazy, and the water just smacking you in the face. It was
Is
quite
that
an
the closest to
experience.
death have you ever experienced, honestly?
There was a time that I definitely thought that, okay, maybe I'm not gonna make it, man. It does cross your mind a little bit, especially once I pop my head up and I'm like,
Where am I?
wow, well, yeah, I felt like I should have been a heck of a lot closer. And I'm looking, and the water's moving. I'm like, wow, man. It's honestly, it seems like I just probably moved like 5 feet, and I'm probably like, I don't know, 25 minutes in, and I'm like, son of a gun, I should thought I was gonna be like almost there, but it was an experience.
That was
Glad I did it. Don't want to do it again though.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like what I say about Chicago. It's a great place to visit.
Yeah,
Now, Italy's a whole other story. I'd visit there as much as I can. That's a pretty dope place. But okay, so I got dumped in there when I was a kid in that same water you swam in
mm,
Richmond. The old, and I learned how to swim. They throw you in the ocean like,
mm,
oh, salt
mm.
water in my mouth. Oh. So I drank some of that same water you
Yes,
drank, man. It's
yes,
gross.
yes.
Okay, so let's go back to your boxing match. It's been, I think the 2 year anniversary is coming up here pretty soon.
It passed. It
It
passed.
just
Yeah,
passed,
yeah,
like in
yeah.
September or something?
In June.
Okay, okay.
June. So
Two
it
year, did you
passed.
do anything to celebrate the 2 year anniversary of you throwing the
Um.
fight? Not throwing the fight, but throwing
Uh,
them things in the fight?
No, strangely enough, okay, so the first year we did kind of do something. The second year kind of went a little bit over my head.
This guy forgot.
Well, my wife's birthday
Oh.
lands right there, so kind of had that a little bit more in my thought, but
You don't want to have another crappy anniversary. Sorry,
but
make this one work. This one count.
but you know what? Look, in all reality, man, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad to be a part of that. Proud to be a part of it. I received much, much, much more love than hatred for being a part of that, and it's definitely something that will live with me forever. Very glad, very proud of being part of that.
I don't think I know anyone that's been part of a pay-per-view event, man. That is dope. I mean, we've been paying for pay-per-view events,
Right.
but the idea of like we were in a pay-per-view event, like that's crazy. I paid for it, and I remember thinking, this is not live, and I'm like, you know what? It's for a good cause.
Mhm.
And then when you gave the money, when you gave a check to that church,
Mhm.
I was like, dang, like that was pretty honorable, man. Like you didn't have to do that. I mean, it took your time, energy, mental. It took you risking your life because you didn't know what Gunner was gonna go in there with.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He
Mhm.
could have went in there. He'd be like, "Dang!" He could have been like, you could have been like Apollo, thinking, "I got this, boy. I'm a boxer. This guy don't know nothing. I'm retired, boy. Man, this Social Security." And Gunner is like, "I'm a drug. I will break you." And it didn't happen, man. You went in
Well,
there and you gave it your best, and everyone
well,
stayed alive.
well, to me, that's what it was all about for me. That's what it was all about. I said, look, I'm gonna donate every single dollar that comes my way. Went into that not knowing how much money was gonna come my way. You know, there was no guarantee, there was no anything, there was no contract of, hey, you're guaranteed to get this amount no matter what. There was none of that stuff, right? So I didn't find out till what, about a month later or so, how much I was getting. And then when it got to me, it got to me in cash, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I got $4,300, donated 1,000 to Stop the Silence, which deals with kids that were sexually molested. You and I know there was something
Stop the
about that.
silence. Uh-huh.
And then the rest of it to the Rock World Outreach. So
Wow. Rock World Outreach. That's the church. That's the outreach inside the church.
yes, their mother headquarters is in San Bernardino, but they do have a few. They do have a few outside of California.
Rock World. I'm thinking that they're playing off the name Rock as in Jesus being the Rock.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
because I'm like, dang, that's a good name, man.
The
You know,
Rock.
Metallica came up with the name Metallica. It wasn't their idea. There is the drummer Lars Ulrich. He had a friend who wanted to start a magazine, and
Okay.
he's like, dude, what do you think, Metallica or Metal Mania? And Lars is thinking to himself, I like that name Metallica to his head. He's like, you should name it Metal Mania. And now there's like a real popular magazine called Metal Mania, and he stole that name. He didn't steal it, but he's like, can I have that name?
Right.
And that's how you got the name Metallica. So I'm thinking Rock World. Man, that'd be dope for that video I was talking about.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
problem is it wouldn't be just rock. So maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe Rock World Night. All right, I was talking to
Rock
Ed.
Your World.
I was talking to Cholo about a venue that kind of a dream. And you know, like this had this movie just come out with the guy that wanted to be an astronaut and he became an astronaut.
Mhm.
You know, those type of stories make you like, why can't I make my dream come true? This guy wanted to be an astronaut, go to the moon. Sure, bro. Yeah, go for it. Even his lady in the movie laughed at it. I thought he was joking.
Right, yeah.
You know, but my
Yeah.
wife doesn't laugh at me when I say that's what I want to do. I've been saying it for 17 years.
That you want to go?
I want to have
space?
a venue. No,
Oh.
I want to have a venue, man, with music. And I want to
That'd
be
be
there.
cool,
I want to
man.
be that old guy in the back, and they say, "Hey, Pastor Tony, hey, what's up?" You know, because I'm the one that bringing the community together for live music, rap. And my thing is, I like Christian versions of all the good stuff. But it doesn't always have to be like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I listen to more secular music than I do Christian music. That doesn't mean I don't like Christian music. It just means I like music in general. You know, so I wouldn't mind having like the last surviving member of Stylistics, you know, here calling him Stylistics. He's like the keyboardist or whatever. You know?
Right.
But I'm like, if I can get that happening here for one night, and then I'd be totally down to be like, hey, I thought it was a Christian. No, it's not, man. I'm the Christian. The venue is a building that we meet in. So my goal, you asked earlier, so we want to have a church or a venue for it. I'm like, no, man. I just want people to congregate there of all different backgrounds, but HeartLife will congregate there on Sunday mornings as a church or on Wednesday nights. But HeartLife are the people. Anyone who follows Jesus and goes to as part of his fellowship, that's what the church is. It's not the venue. For some reason, we get the fire department closes us because we packed the house out too many nights, bro, right?
Yeah.
Just like, dang,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I can't even walk to this place. And like the fire department to shut us down too many times. We have to move. Then that's a bummer. We would just end up back in my backyard, man. So be it.
Here
But
we
we're
are.
gonna do it. We're gonna go hard. So I really believe, man. I really believe that that's gonna happen. I just gotta keep on pushing forward. And like, tell me about your goal about the business. Is that a top secret still? Are you trying to keep it on the down low, or are you?
No. I'm venturing off on my own in the trucking world. It's time. It's been time. My sons are grown up. I mean, they're young men, but no, it's time. It's been something I've been wanting to do for quite a few years, and I do pretty good right now. I do, and there's really no need for me to take a risk. I remember, talking to somebody and saying like, hey, it's a little scary because, man, I'm actually in a good place. And then they were telling me like, imagine me. They started telling me their story. They're like, imagine me. I had nothing. And I had to take this risk. And I said, yeah, that's not the same though, because if you have nothing, then you have nothing to lose, right? I mean, you can only go up. Here,
Yeah.
and what I'm talking about is no, I actually am in a good position. I'm making a pretty good living. I like my schedule. I like what I do. I really do. But I'm gonna reach out to do my own thing. So if I lose something good. It's not that I have nothing to lose, because I do. So that's what a little bit scary, but it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Um, yeah, my dad was a truck driver for almost 50 years in the Bay Area, and you made this. I don't know what you called it. I was explaining to you that his left leg was like, Lou Ferrigno, bodybuilder, was like a monster calf, and his right leg was like just a normal, slim little
Right.
Hispanic guy. What do you call that? Those kind of guys that have been doing the trucking since the 70s with the clutch?
Yeah,
What they call those guys?
yeah, driving with the clutch. However,
What's what you call? You said there was a term for it, like gladiator or something like that, where the guy's leg is real big. Sorry, was real
the
big on the left.
the road
The
warriors.
road warrior. Yeah, my
Yeah,
dad's
yeah,
an OG road warrior, and they
yeah.
got those massive calves.
Oh man, the first truck I was driving, the clutch was hard, man. It's like, So I definitely get it. Many years later, trucks were still standard and stick shift,
But the
but the
clutch
but the
is
clutch
easier.
were a lot more softer. So
Uh-huh.
and now now a lot of trucks are going automatic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of changing the culture in trucking.
How much does a truck cost, man? To like I know first thing I'm thinking
Well,
about. Let me get a good used one like a car.
yeah, if you're looking for a used one, it's not as bad. It's not as painful. If you want to go with a brand new one, you're looking over 200,000
200,000.
for a brand new one. Yes.
And what's so special? I mean, I know it's a dumb question, but $200,000 is a lot of money for an engine and some tires. I mean, what?
Very true, very true. I mean, you're purchasing also a little house when you think about the sleeper and all.
Okay.
It's a place that you're gonna be living in, depending, what kind of truck you want. You gotta look at the job that you're gonna be doing and buy the truck that's gonna suit your needs.
Okay.
So, if you're gonna be home every night, then you probably don't need to go crazy with the sleeper or anything like that. If you're gonna be on the road, you might want to get something that's pretty comfortable for yourself. So I'm talking about the trucks that's you're probably gonna be on the road. Yeah, you're looking at over 200,000 for a new truck. So
And the idea is if you get a brand new truck, less likely your stuff's gonna break down because the last thing you want to do, like every trucker's nightmare,
yes,
is to break down with $1 million
right,
worth of stuff in the back,
right.
in Maryville,
Right,
at
man.
the
That's
Waffle House.
Yeah. I mean, it's all part of the business, man. It's all part of the business. It sucks, but just like life, not everything's perfect. So things could be going good for you. You pick up a load, and there you are. 100 miles down the road, pow, man, something breaks down. It's like holy smokes,
Yeah, yeah.
So
So I rode with my dad a couple times in the truck in the front seat, and maybe 4 times in my life, right?
mm.
One of those 4 times we get in a major accident. What are the odds of
Oh
that happening?
man,
You do
yeah.
this day in and day out. You're on the road 200 days a year,
Uh.
and no, the one time you take me home for a ride, your freaking brakes go out on you, bro. He forgot to pull the air out
Oh
on a rainy
no,
day,
man, really?
and he hit the brake, and
Yeah.
nothing happened. And we're in a tunnel, and we're making this blind turn,
Mm.
no brakes. Boom! Spins all around. Scariest thing, man.
Wow.
It was a flathead truck.
Oh
So,
yeah, the cab overs.
the cab
Yeah, it
overs.
doesn't have the nose that sticks out.
I-
It's,
and,
it's,
uh, and
that was the
uh,
first kind of truck I drove.
Are you okay? Yeah. And he goes out. Oh man, I forgot to pull the air out. He backs it up, and we drive off and go home. And how was work? And I can hear him telling my stepmom, "Oh, it was okay. A little accident. Oh, really?" And I'm still like, "Wow, dude, that was crazy." I was like 9 years old, man. So my dad's advice to me about trucking, like, son, if you ever go to whatever you do when you're on the freeway, just stay away from trucks.
Mm.
He's like, just stay away from Ed. I don't know. He's seen some stuff, and he's been close enough with some trucker culture that he's like some of these guys should not be on the road, man. So like,
I will say this. Some people feel safe when there's a truck behind them. They feel safe to pull off the side, let the truck go in front of them, and then they get behind the truck. I just want to, a little caution out there to everybody. Being behind a truck, those trailers have what they call recap tires, okay, which is basically just an old tire, and they get some good tread and they paste it around the old tire. When those suckers blow, that big old piece of rubber, and you're talking about a truck tire, that big old heavy piece of rubber, completely blows out and it's all intact. And if you're, directly behind a truck that's pulling a trailer, uh, that big old piece of rubber can do some damage on your car. So
Yeah, but yeah, you get big time damage
yeah, yeah, it can
and
do some damage on
possibly
the car.
leading to a nasty car accident
It
or
can,
out
it
of
can,
control.
yeah.
Okay, so the advice from a trucker, from a professional truck driver expert, a Renaissance man of the Southwest over here. What time you got?
Uh,
Dang, I don't know. Anyway, like, uh, a Renaissance man of the Southwest, as they're starting to call him, Southwest Renaissance man, aka Cholo Trucker. They stay away from the trucks. Keep the distance because stuff sometimes will fly off the wheels and they can mess
it
you up.
can,
So don't be trying to be. This is not Smoking the Bandit. That was all in the movies. They'll be trying to do this to people, get them to honk the horns. Stay your distance, man. You know what I mean? So that's good advice. I hope you guys learned something from that. Okay, so I'm going to switch it up real quick before we go because you got to get to the airport. What I need to know is HeartLife Church Phoenix.
Mhm.
I invited you last year,
Mhm.
and you said you'd come here. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I'm hoping you can come to the Sunday service, but I remember telling my wife a couple of days ago, I said, "It's the weirdest thing, babe." So I think Cholo Truck is going to come to church sometime. She's like, "That's weird." She said that's weird. She said, "Okay," because that's what she says. Okay, you
Right.
think a lot of crazy things, Tony. Like, okay, this is random. And then you had that interview with Pastor David out there from
Mhm.
Modesto, and then here you are, man. A couple days, like literally a couple days later. So I'm so grateful, man, that you called me and you're in the area and we made this happen. Before I take you to Sky Harbor, because that's our big airport out here, I want to ask you. I want to ask you a couple questions about what you believe.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
do
It's gonna
it.
be an easy one.
Let's go.
Question number one: what's required of a man to go to heaven, or what's required of a man to live forever? What is the key for, I guess, Christian eternal salvation?
Mm.
No answer is wrong, but there's one answer that's I'm shooting for.
Okay, all right. No answer's wrong, but one answer is
Well,
right. I got you.
yeah, I mean,
Okay. I I would say relationship with God.
yeah,
That's definitely key. Your relationship with God, where it says in the Word in the Bible, where it's like, "Get away from me, you worker of iniquity! I never knew you." And it's like, "Whoa, wait a second! What are you talking about? I did this, and that. You're right, but you didn't have a relationship with me. I don't know you. So and I like a church that I attend. It's like for people are just gonna say, "Hey, well, I believe in God. Isn't that enough?" And it's like, well, no, because demons believe in God. They're not going to heaven. The devil himself believes in God. He's not going to heaven. So I would say your relationship with the Lord.
yes.
That would be my key answer. I would say.
Second question is, do you think Mormons believe in the same Jesus that I say, like the Christians you hang out with believe in?
Um, that okay. That's a good one. It's crazy because I did have good conversations with a couple of Mormons years ago. They would go around, people's doors, and for one reason or another, I entertained it, and I did talk with them a little bit, and they were telling me that no, that they're Christians and all, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not too educated on Mormonism, so I'm not really sure. I remember they gave me a Book of Mormon, but I never really got into it. And this is years ago. I don't know. I was probably like 22 or something like that.
I'm just kidding.
They gave it to me, and I never really looked into it, but when I told them, like, you know what, I'm not interested, they asked for the book back. They asked for the book back, and I'm like,
Well,
oh, okay. Like, I was gonna get to it.
eventually.
Yeah, I was
So it
gonna
wasn't
get
a
to it.